Welcome to another edition of Heartbeat of Holliston. I'm Paul Saulnier.
And I'm Melissa Caspern. How you doing, Paul?
Great.
Good. You ready for Halloween?
I am. Got a new costume, which I might even debut tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. So we've got a really special show tonight.
Lots of guests on tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Coming up later on today's show, we have Mark Aronian and Kathy Shore, Jay Wyman, and a very special guest. We also have segments about a historical place, a real sweet treat, and a very important event.
Before we get to those guests, the Holliston High School Senior Auction was held on October 12th, and joining us tonight is Class President Ariana Amelli to tell us how it all went. Welcome, Ariana.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show tonight. So tell us about this year's senior class auction.
Okay, so at the beginning of, actually at the end of last year, we had a poll, and we wanted to talk to all of the seniors in our class and say whether there was interest to have the senior auction. And the vote was overwhelming, and everyone said they wanted to do it, and they wanted it to be student-run. And to be honest, it worked out great. We did a really great job, and everyone came together.
Oh, good. Now, what's the difference if it's student-run versus other years?
So other years, there was more help from parents and stuff, but this year we wanted the kids really to do everything, solicit businesses, be security, do just take action on all fronts, and yeah.
That's great. As a parent of a high school student, I like that idea. That
Yeah.
sounds wonderful. So did you have good success this year with the auction?
We did. So we haven't figured out the expenses yet, but we know that we did get into the ballpark of money where it normally runs, like between 15 and 20,000. So
oh, wow.
We did a really good job, and I'm really proud of the class.
When did this first start?
Years ago. I don't know the exact date when it did, but I know it's been like 20-something years.
Any idea how much they raised on the very first one?
I don't. That's actually something I want to look into. That's interesting.
It'd be interesting to see the progress.
Yeah.
I believe it was somewhere around 1973 that it first started. Yeah, was the information. So it's it's been going strong and I know, I'm glad you guys had it.
Yeah.
It's definitely an event that people in Holliston look forward to.
Oh yeah.
Now, for someone that's never been to it before, explain, how does the day run?
So there's like the early bird part where people will line up with their huge trucks and everything and come in. There's a $25 fee, and at 8 o'clock people come in, and it just gets wiped out, like all the good stuff.
Oh, wow.
And then from 9 to 2, it like just spurts of people come in, and they start to buy random things like electronics, home decor, holiday stuff. It ranges from everything, and the whole gym is just filled with items, and people come in to buy, and it's great.
And where do they all come from, all the items?
All the items, people around town, surrounding towns donate them, and then we get the kids in the class to come help us pick them up, and we bring them to storage facilities.
Is any of it new? I know there's a lot of furniture, there's a lot of rugs.
Some of it is. Some people just don't want some of the items, and they give it away. And
so for like somebody who's maybe downsizing, retiring,
exactly,
they get rid of a lot of good furniture.
Exactly, yeah. Or people that are moving, and
it may not fit in the new house.
Exactly.
So they donate it. So that's a wonderful way to do it. Now, what do you do with the items that are left over at the end of the auction? Anything that doesn't sell?
Yep. So normally we have charities come by, pick them up. We do have dumpsters that we use if like it just doesn't get picked up.
Yeah.
Different groups come by, grab them. That's normally what happens.
So no one's stuck trying to haul it all back at the end of the auction, hopefully?
Yeah, no. And
the money that you raise, where does that money go?
So that money goes to our prom, the expensive prom, and then senior class gift, mostly those things.
And when does the senior class determine what their gift is going to be?
Later.
You're like, I just got through this. Let me breathe for a minute.
Exactly. Yeah.
And isn't there always a treasury left after? I know when I graduated from high school, we left money behind For reunions and things?
Yeah. We've talked about that a little bit, but I don't know the specifics about it, but there is.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Tradition continues.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, does the senior class do any other fundraising events, or is this your big?
So one of our big things is we sold Camelbacks, which were water bottles that were really popular with the kids. And that made us a good amount of money. And we do dances. Like, we came up with this idea for the winter whiteout dance. It's not like homecoming. It's not like semi or prom. It's something in between because kids kind of want another dance since there's a big gap in the year. And that brought us a good amount of revenue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys are very active.
Yeah. Yep, we are.
Good for you.
Great job. Well, I know it's quite the undertaking to be class president and to do this auction as student run.
Right.
You know, and I think it teaches a lot of skills to all the students about event planning and coordinating these things.
Real world kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of help from like our advisors, the other officers, kids in our grade, committees. So it was good. Students really came through.
Well, it does really sound like it was a lot of fun, and thanks for coming on the show and talking about it.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Yeah.
In the news, the annual Fall Town Meeting was held on Monday night, October the 26th. 101 registered voters showed up, exactly one more than the required minimum to conduct the town's business. With only 17 articles on the agenda, the meeting ended at about 9 p.m. with not much controversy. But as expected, the request for tasers for the police stirred lots of comments, both pro and con, with the pro voters winning out by a 2-to-1 margin. Voting on the disposition of the Andrews School was postponed to the May 2016 town meeting.
Have you ever wondered if anyone lives in the Asa Whiting house at the Holliston Historical Society? Here's a segment with Chris O'Lawless that answers that question.
You can't help but notice the Holliston Historical Society property when you drive into town. Heartbeat thought we would go behind the scenes and find out about the life of the people that property manage the Asa Whiting house and its barn. This morning we're here at the Holliston Historical Society with Stuart Walrab and Bill Hodge, who are the property managers for the Historical Society of this wonderful property that we have right here in the middle of Holliston. Thanks for coming on the show. So tell me, what is a typical day like in the life of a property manager here at the Historical Society house?
Well, on the weekends, or when we have an event, generally people come in at 9 a.m. and they have the day to set up the property. And they come in, rental trucks come in and out, sound equipment and the like, and then guests start arriving anywhere from 2 to 5, depending on the client's schedule for the day. And they have parties, dinner, then dancing, and then people leave at 10 and clean up by 11 and they're gone. Mm-hmm. And then we take care of the place after 11.
Okay.
Get it ready for the next morning for a 9 a.m. rental.
What does that entail? Cleaning up?
Just sprucing it up, taking care of the floor, bathrooms, the kitchen, making sure everything is up to snuff.
What we like to do is, our goal is to make sure that the people that come the next day, that they don't think anybody's been there before.
Okay. It's a pretty long day when you've got events. How many events do you have a week?
They could be anywhere from 2 to 5 events a week. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday being the most popular, and then once in a while a Thursday, and then once in a while there's a business meeting that comes on in the house, and then there's also regular society events.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, regular meetings and events that happen.
In terms of rentals, though, I would guess the average, I think, is about 2. Because some weekends there's only 1, some weekends there's 3. So in those cases, we're up at 8 or 9 to make sure everything's turned on, doors are opened, unlocked, whatever. And then we're here we're on duty until probably about midnight when they finally leave and after we do our cleanup. So.
And where do you live?
Upstairs in the former nanny's quarter.
Can I point or doesn't that count?
Of course.
In the former nanny's apartment.
Oh really? Okay. And do you have a story about that? About a
Yeah,
nanny?
a couple years ago we had a woman who was in her mid-80s, and she was here due to her niece being married. And they alerted us sometime prior that she would like to go upstairs because she was a nanny here in 1952. So she wanted to go up the steps, and it was rather difficult for her to get up the back steps. And she came in, she looked in what is now the kitchen, oh, and she just exclaimed that there was some, and at that point we had a cat. And she thought that was the cat that was living here back then. I said, well, maybe not. It was a really warm experience to see her kind of happy. She said her time here was one of the best times that she had in her life. And and the family has also come back, the Cole family, and has come back for events. And we had one of the ladies ask if she could, she said, this is a very strange request, but can I go to the attic? Because she said there's a special smell up there. And she went up there and the smell was still the same. Mm-hmm. So there was an aroma up there. And there is.
Yeah. The society is, I think, only the third owners of this property. And the Cole family owned it for many, many years. And as Bill mentioned, we've had 2 or 3 memorial services here for the Cole family.
So, how did you get into this property manager business?
Well,
how did you get to Holliston?
Well, we met in November of '83, and we were looking for a business at that point, and we looked at a water bottling plant and several other things, and then we found a little old country inn in upstate New York that was built in 1819, so it's an old building. Mm-hmm. And so we operated that for 8 years as dining and bed and breakfast. And then we had a couple rental rooms for a gift shop. Mm-hmm. We did that, and then we went to New Jersey for 4 years and managed an estate there, and then went for another 4 years in northern Wisconsin, and was on a lake there, and that was kind of nice. And then came here in Holliston in the fall of 2002 to help my sister and her husband operate a business. And then in March of '04, this job became available, and it sort of fills in with the hospitality concept. I'm a chef by trade, and Stuart is front of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, we both have hospitality background.
What's the most fun about your job and about being here?
The people, and seeing how parties go, and it's really kind of gratifying to see happy people leaving, and oh, this is a wonderful place. Oh, we had a best time. Nobody knew that this was here, and
we get, in the beginning of every party, we get sort of like tensed up, like, is this going to be a good, smooth running party, or is this going to be a bridezilla party? And so we're always, sort of on guard. But at the end of the night, even the bridezilla brides always say, "This was fabulous. Thank you so much. This is a gorgeous place." So many people from my party have said they're going to have another function here, and also it's the board of directors that we work with here are fantastic people. They are just
very supportive.
They're very supportive, very appreciative, and we all work well together. And it's comfortable for us, and I think comfortable for them.
And are there any ghosts in this building?
Well, we get asked that quite often by renters and by people who just are passing through. And I've asked Joanne Hulbert, who is our town historian, several times, are there ghosts here? And she says, no.
What are they future plans for the house and the barn that we should know about? Any improvements or?
There's a potential. There's a thought going around the potential of expanding this building to add more room for the collections that we have upstairs and the library. It's just in its really preliminary stages now, and so we don't really have any updates on it.
And the barn is one thing that we've noticed is that it's so adaptable to different groups. Yesterday, a Sweet 16 party booked it for in a couple months, and they want to have a hoedown. And we had a corporate event here some years ago that they had a hoedown. Everybody had to wear straw hats, red and check tablecloths, but they had a fiddler playing in the barn as people came in, and that was really a nice touch. And
the nice thing about the barn is, or several of the nice things are, it's got a beautiful floor, which is virtually indestructible. So you can if you have a bunch of kids like we did the other night at the bat mitzvah party, they throw stuff all over the floor, but it pretty much sweeps right up. The kitchen is well equipped with 2 ranges, 2 refrigerators, and a beverage cooler, and it's well lit, and there are 2 pretty nice bathrooms over there. So it doesn't need it. It's works pretty well the way it is. If you only have 100 people or less. If you have more than that, then you need to get a tent.
Okay.
The barn can accommodate. It can be a lot of different things because it's a really nice space. But so it looks rustic when you first go in. So a lot of people go with the rustic hoedown theme or whatever. But if you want to do a really elegant affair, you just put really nice tablecloths on, big centerpieces, and the twinkle lights are there all the time, which make it look elegant, and they make a nice light. When you're dining, you can see what you're doing, but it's not garish. So it's interesting the different ways people decorate it.
And the gardens, of course, are really exceptional. Do you have much to do with the gardens, or is that?
We take the trimmings to the transfer station. There's a committee that does that.
Okay. Yeah.
And they do a wonderful job, especially because this is the focal point for the beginning of Holliston in Bloom.
Right.
Or America in Bloom.
Right. Right.
The gardens were done over for one of our, was it the 200th anniversary? And the society members, as well as the Holliston Garden Club, redid the gardens. They basically pulled everything out and replanted. And since then, it has been so beautiful. And it just, and then we have a committee that maintains the gardens. We help a little bit, but mainly they do it. Peggy Lee is the head of the garden committee, and she comes every couple days and weeds and stuff.
Very dedicated.
Yeah. And then once in a while, once or twice a year, we get a crew that comes in, volunteers, and just sort of weeds out all the junk.
Well, you certainly seem to enjoy what you're doing here.
It's fun. It's a little bit of everything, and right now we are looking at a building relocating our corn crib. It's on the other side of the barn, and it had a new roof some years ago, but now it really we want to put it back together, and it's going to go to the left of the shoe shop. And
the foundation is already there. We just haven't had the contractor, move the actual building back there, but it will be, and that'll open up some more land on the other side of the barn, which could be used for, games or
and
party functions.
That's where some of the people have barbecues and clam bakes. They cook on that side of the.
It just seems like this is really a center for hospitality. It's very flexible, and you've been able to fill it up almost every weekend. I really appreciate you talking about all of the things that you're doing here, your life here, and I know we'll be seeing more of you in the future. And so thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We're proud of the property.
The Asa Whiting House and Barn are a great asset to the town, and Bill and Stuart's talents in hospitality have made it even better. This is Chris O'Lawless for the Heartbeat of Holliston.
I love the story about the woman who nannied there and then came back.
Amazing?
Yeah, that must have been like such a thrill for her to come back
and Bill and
stay.
Stuart are really great caretakers for that place. They really get into helping people. And they love it when people come in and say, yeah, we've been here 30 years and we love it. And as you saw from the tape, they're really into the whole hospitality thing. That's been their whole career.
It is. Every event I've been to there has been wonderful.
The society is really lucky to have those two guys.
Yeah. So thank you again, Bill and Stuart.
So quarterly bills were sent out on October the 16th, and we're sure residents noticed an increase in their bills. back at the April 8th meeting, the Board of Selectmen voted a 7% increase in the existing water fees, as well as a $75 infrastructure fee. These rate hikes and fees have a lot of people Holliston crabby. The $75 infrastructure fee is a quarterly fee that was voted in to help replace aging pipes and improve overall water quality. Heartbeat is hopeful that we will see some improvement soon.
And we are joined again now by our very own sports guy, Jay Wyman. Hi, Jay. How are you?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Jay.
Good. So what do you have for us tonight?
Tonight we have the high school sports, which are coming into, some of them are coming into the end of the season, some of them still kind of in the middle of the season. But we got some great news. We have 4 teams that already have made the playoffs. We have the girls soccer team is one of them. They've done a good job, and they've come up this year and been able to make the playoffs. I think they qualified just last week. The boys soccer team has ridden some really hot goaltending, and they've come in there, so they're in the playoffs too. And a big applause goes out to the girls field hockey team, because it's been a while, I think, since they've made the playoffs, but they're in there now, and so we need give them a big applause when we see them. Now those 3 teams, they haven't picked they haven't decided yet where they're playing or who they're playing in the playoffs, because their seasons are still going on.
Okay.
The football team has been tremendously successful. They're undefeated once again. They're the undefeated champions of the Tri-Valley League Lodge, and they're the #1 seed for the Division IV South playoff, just as they were last year. And what that means is that for the first 3 playoff games, as long as they keep winning, they keep playing here at Comedian Field in Holliston.
Oh, okay.
So
that's great for all the...
Yeah, it's really something. They're going to open with a Ponequid, and that will be this Friday night, which is the 29th, I believe, or 30th. 30th, yep. Yeah. At, I think it's 7 o'clock at night here at Comedian Field. So anyone that sees this early enough, come on down to Comedian Field and watch your local papers, because if they win that game, they'll be playing here at Comedian Field again, probably the next Friday night.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they'll be playing a team. One of the 2 teams that they'll be playing will either be Scituate or Middleborough, and they played both of them last year. So.
And how'd we do against them?
They beat them both last year.
Nice.
They had Holliston, the kids who came back, of course, when you have a season like they had last year, the kids will come back. They say, well, we want to prove our own identity.
Yeah.
We want our own legacy. We want it to be our team. Yeah. And I'll tell you, they've done a tremendous job. The coaching staff and the kids have really done an unbelievable job to do what they did last year and then come back and do it again this year.
Yeah.
It's just really amazing.
How many seniors did we lose last year?
I'm probably going to be wrong. I'm guessing like 11 or 12 or something, but 4 or 5 of them were top. You'd really call them superstars. Yeah. But they came back this year, and they once again they're loaded again. And it's a thing where the freshmen are doing very well this year. I heard the 8th grade team is doing well this year. So that program that Coach Kiley has developed there is really doing really well.
You just have a lot of depth there, so you feel like you're losing these players who are amazing, but there's someone coming up that
and the other thing that happens when you are that successful in football, a lot of times last year they were winning games by so much that by either halftime or the end of the 3rd quarter, all these other kids were getting experience, and they're getting experience in playoff games and Super Bowls. So nothing's really going to faze them this year as they go into the playoffs. So
now with the playoffs, if they heaven forbid, wouldn't win a game, they still play, but just at a different field.
Yeah.
So you lose that.
They'll play. They'll go into the non-playoff division.
Okay.
It matters when you lose. If you lose the first or second game, you'll go into the non-playoff division, and you play against somebody else, probably the other team that lost the game in your division. But if not, they'll play these 3 games at home, and if they're fortunate enough to win these 3 games, they would go probably to a site in the southern part of the state for the Eastern Mass Championship. That's when they beat Linfield last year, 26-0. And then if they win that one, of course, they go on to the Super Bowl on December 5th.
So looking really far ahead. Do we have some great juniors this year?
It's loaded with juniors. Yeah, juniors are really strong. The quarterback, Jack Barrett, is a junior, and he just came in and just has picked up almost where Nick Athey was last year. So they're really fun to watch. They're really a good team to watch. So if people can get out there, I definitely come out and watch.
Are you
them.
working the games this year?
Tom and I are still doing the games, and Carlos does the stats for us. Of course, we have the lovely Lisa here who does all the camera work, and Dennis Bergeron, Steve Hedrick, Jeremy Krause. They all help out with the on-field stuff too. So it's been great. HCAT's fabulous. I mean, Coach Kiley always brings it up that what a great job that HCAT does, bringing these games to the kids. They can see it streaming video. The kids who go away at college can see it. The grandparents can see it who might live away from here and everything.
Do you know if the films are used in training?
Training for football or training for filmmaking?
Training for you. Do you keep yourself after every show? You have to watch the playback?
Actually, yeah. Well, we do that. If you ask my wife, she said that's all I do. But no, they take their own film, and our film is usually run at least 3 or 4 weeks later, so that the other teams that we're playing next can't see the game that we just played.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I did want to ask you. So the other teams that you mentioned that are going to playoffs, are those teams that have gone in the past years, or?
Yeah, they have. I mean, the soccer program's been pretty successful. And the field hockey, it's been a while, I believe, since they've gone. So it's fantastic that they're going. They started off really unbelievably well. They and kept it going through the year. So when the news, keep your eye on the newspaper, and when you see the boys or girls soccer team or the field hockey team, get out there and support them too.
Yeah, sure.
These kids are fabulous. You hear so much about what kids don't do, or this kid's this. Go out and support these kids, because it really makes a difference.
It's a lot of dedication and hard work, what they do, what they put in. Well, as always, Jay, thanks for coming on. We look forward to having you on our next show and see what's coming up in sports.
Okay, happy Halloween.
Thank you.
On October 29th, the Bullard Farm will have a visit with Abraham Lincoln. Matching his height and beard, Abraham Lincoln impersonator Steve Wood bears enough of a resemblance to our 16th president to make heads turn even when he's not wearing the black trousers, the vest, the frock coat, and the stovepipe hat. His first-person historical interpretation of Visit with Abraham Lincoln includes anecdotes from Lincoln's visits to Massachusetts and New Hampshire, stories of his early life, campaign debates with Stephen Douglas, and the Civil War that followed him in his election to the presidency. Following a short discussion of events leading to Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, he will close with a reading of the Gettysburg Address. And also at the Bullard Farm on Thursday, November 12th, the farm will host the Pilgrim Life presentation. A Pilgrim plantation interpreter will speak about the daily life of a Pilgrim family. For more information, check out their website or call Tara Hathaway.
The 13th annual Walk Against Breast Cancer was held on October 18th. The walk is dedicated to Mary Ellen Miller, who lost her battle with breast cancer in 2008. The event drew close to 300 walkers and raised over $35,000 for the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Mary Greendale interviewed co-chairs Katie Connors and Mary Ann McCrow and Mary Ellen's daughter Tracy Miller. Let's take a look.
Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, Mary.
It's wonderful to see you here. It's a gorgeous day.
It is.
So I want to ask you, this is an immense undertaking. What do you find to be the most challenging logistical issue that you face?
Wow. The wind is one. We always have to plan for weather, and we never know which way that's going to go. So we've done this in sun, rain, snow one year, a little bit. Hot, cold. That's one thing. The other thing I find, just because of the way my brain works, I think, is the details, the teeny tiny details. I try so hard to plan and think I've got all my list straight, and then inevitably I forget one little thing, and that's where Jack Connors comes in. Honey, I need one more thing.
Well, Jack Connors is always great about helping you, but aside from that, it is a big undertaking, and obviously you have a lot of people that have to participate. So tell me, what motivates you to keep doing this annually, every year, over?
Well, this morning I reached into a bag looking for, a pen or something, and out came Mary Ellen Miller's prayer card from her funeral. And on her prayer card is a quote, a Sanskrit proverb, and it says, "Look to this day, for this is life today." Everything in this day incorporates really everything that it's all about. And it kind of centered me for the day, because you can get caught up in not feeling motivated by the tasks. But then you look at that tree behind you, you look at the day, and you look at those survivors who will stand up there with us later on, and you remember that we're making a huge difference. Because we give so much to Dana-Farber, because of all we've earned over the years for them, and it's unfettered money that goes to their research, we know we're truly having an impact. And no matter how much we might be pulling our hair out the 3 days before as we're trying to dot the I's and cross the T's, we remember why. And Mary Ellen, Linda Jakulis, all the people that we remember.
Do you see the same faces each year?
We do. We always see a nice rotating set of teenagers, and we are aware that to some degree, with our group that started it and our own colleagues who were aware of it and excited about it, we need to be looking to making sure that we're reaching out to the next age group behind us. And in that vein, I think we will really be organizing and looking forward to including more people in the steering committee going forward, because we're going to need some help.
Now, this day seems more like a celebration, and yet it is around such a serious event in life or a serious condition. Mm-hmm. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think it is a serious event, and yet it's also celebrating the fight, and it's celebrating those who've survived. And one of the most important moments that we have every year is when the survivors come up for an acknowledgement and a gift and a blessing. And people have told us, like, that's something special about our walk. And it reminds us that people are still fighting, and that they still need our support, and that our difference matters. And like I said about the funding, our funding doesn't have to go through government channels. It goes right to those researchers. And so we are celebrating the difference that all of us can make, and that even a small town, our event is noted by Dana-Farber for being having a huge impact while being on a shoestring budget. They can't believe what we do with so little. But it's really because of the generosity of our sponsors, our donors, the small businesses, the individuals. People just give and give and give, and they're so kind. But it touches so many people, and I think we celebrate the difference we can make.
Well, and my final question to you is, what's the biggest lesson from all of this effort?
Again, I think it's the difference that individuals can make. I have no training in fundraising. I didn't even know what a silent auction was when we started, and now our silent auction is earning $3,000. If you jump in, you figure it out. I don't know that that's the biggest lesson, but everyone can make a difference, and it matters to help.
I agree with that one. So thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
And good luck today. Thanks. And now I have Mary Ann Marcoux and Tracy Miller. And Tracy, you're the daughter of Mary Ellen, and you are the sister? Okay. Well, I would love to have you tell me how Mary Ellen got this whole thing going. I mean, this is a major event today. How did it start?
Well, she had her breast cancer treatment at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, and went through that for a couple of years, but then actually felt like she wanted to give back to Dana-Farber as part of helping her heal from, the different treatments and things that she went through. And a group of her friends actually said, hey, let's do it. Got together and planned the event. So they had the first event 13 years ago, of which my sister participated and organized it for several years, and unfortunately she did pass away during that time. But the community here has kept it going. Her friends have actually stayed such good friends of hers and our family, ongoing, and just do this as a labor of love for not just my sister, but for all those going through breast cancer treatment, and the community at large. I think a lot of people want to support the cause and want to support breast cancer research close to home, of which 100% of our donations go to Dana-Farber for breast cancer research and patient care. So it's nice to know that we can make a difference here locally in the community.
It is nice, and you know that it's very targeted resources. That's a great feature. So Tracy, what do you remember from when it started, and how does it feel to have been part of this all these years?
Well, when it started, I don't know, I just always remember it as a highlight of the fall and just being a really fun event to be at and be a part of. And it's just been the same ever since it started.
Has it gotten a lot bigger?
Yes, definitely, without a question.
And this year, you're a senior in high school now. Are you walking in the walk? Do you have friends walking with you?
Yeah, I do. All my friends are going to walk, so.
And this is the next generation that's coming up to take on this walk as people age out of organizing all of this, you think?
Well, we hope so. I mean, the kids are so involved. I mean, Tracy's obviously involved. Allison, her sister, has her whole volleyball team here, and they came at 9 o'clock to set up, hours before. So it's just such a nice event for the kids and our family, of course.
Now, just one last question. What do you think Mary Ellen would have to say about all this? Can you put it in her words?
Well, I think she'd be so amazed at the amount of fundraising. Over $500,000. Hopefully this year get close to more $600,000 for the cause. And I just feel like she, warms us all with her support of beautiful days that we have each year. And it's just an amazing legacy for her. I don't think she could have imagined that it would have been, scaled to the level that it has. And as well for her friends who have organized it. It's just, they're so passionate about it, and it's part of their legacy as well.
Any thoughts?
I think she'd be proud to see what it's become.
I think she'd be proud to see you here, too, being a part of it and moving it on. Ladies, thank you so much, and I hope the walk goes well. You do have a beautiful day. Enjoy it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for Heartbeat of Holliston, this is Mary Greendale. Thank you.
It's interesting to see all that behind-the-scenes information going on, all that work. I was there Sunday. It was cold. At one point it was snowing.
Oh, goodness.
And the sun was shining, but it was really quite an event.
It's quite a tribute to Mary Ellen that is
yeah.
carried on, and it's so nice to see her daughter there as well. So the walk is really a small homegrown event that makes a big impact.
Yeah. So let's welcome Mark Aronian and Kathy Shore to the program to talk about America in Bloom. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
So I know you guys were co-chairs this year for the Holliston in Bloom program. Took us all the way to Holland, Michigan, and we even won some major awards. But tell us what it's like organizing this event. How much work was it leading up to the actual getting the judges here and then going out?
It's a lot of work, but we have a lot of volunteers now. Thank goodness for our Facebook page and also our website that started this year.
Yeah.
We expanded from probably about 10 or 11 members to close to 20 members on our committee right now. But we're always looking for new people.
Yeah, and do these people necessarily have to have a green thumb or dirty fingernails?
No, we're a very eclectic group. We're landscape designers, we are real estate agents, we're nurses, we are web designers, we take anybody, and we're grateful for anybody.
And there's still room on the committee for next year?
Absolutely.
And we'll teach you how to become a professional hole digger.
Really? Oh, professional
I get that
PhD.
I can handle.
Yeah, I've heard the term.
I get your PhD.
And, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, tell us about the big event in Michigan and how Holliston fared.
Well, it's really grown this year. The event in Holland was over 40 cities and towns. And I could just remember 3 years ago there were 28. So it's really taking off.
And this was what, fourth year?
And this is our fourth year.
Yeah.
That we just finished. Yeah.
And with 40 cities and towns, all competing from all over the United States, right?
Yes.
And then there's a whole series of presentations. You also learn from other communities?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the reasons why you go, is that you really learn a lot as to what the other towns and cities are doing.
So you bring back ideas to Holliston?
Absolutely.
I understand that this year there was a book that they produced, the 10 greatest ideas, the 10 best ideas.
It's best ideas. Every community that is involved with American in Bloom submits their best idea, and Evelyn Alamani, she produces this book. She did it for the first 10 years, and then since then it's been a small supplement to the initial 10 years.
And did Holliston have a best idea in there?
Yes, we did.
What was it?
It was the community parking lot on Exchange Street behind the fire station to create access to the Central Street shops and downtown
That was
businesses.
the major project this year for the Holliston and Bloom
Our
community?
largest project we've ever done.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And what's in store then for next year? You have any large projects planned for next year?
We have a couple of new projects, but also in looking at the judge's evaluation report, which is really important for the whole town because they look at everything. They look at every park. They make suggestions. They look at, they do all the research on your town as to
It's a good way for you to build for next year and the coming years.
Absolutely. And so one of the things they mentioned is to have larger containers of planters along the sidewalks. So we're going to be doing that. And then we have scheduled to do a project at the senior center.
Okay, good.
Which is badly needed. And also at the, we're going to ask Chief Moore, he doesn't know it yet, but we want to do a planting in front of the police station too. So we'll talk to him and see if we get his blessing.
Yeah.
And so what actual awards did Holliston win this year?
Holliston won our population category championship. So out of anyone from, what was our population, 12?
Anything from 12 to 16,000.
And that was our population group.
So
And
we won that.
We won the first place in that. And we also got 4 blossoms out of 5 for our volunteer efforts that we do. We are pretty much 100% volunteer in this town, but there are other towns that are even doing a better job with volunteers. So we have a lot more higher expectations of ourselves.
Isn't it true, though, that other towns and cities, a lot of them are cities, right? They have a lot of municipal employees.
Yes,
some of them are mainly that.
Yeah,
so we do pretty good to compete with those guys.
And you know, to get an award in that category for community involvement says a lot about the collaboration that goes on in our town and the working of town government and municipal departments with other town departments.
And then the other big news is, what about 2017?
Yes, that's a huge
That's
one.
how Boston, we will be hosting in Boston for 2017. So we're using 2016 as our dress rehearsal for getting Holliston extra specially spiffed up for 2017. We're working with different designers in landscape design so that we are not duplicating our effords all through town. We are more perennials.
So you're really going to need some more volunteers, huh?
Absolutely.
Especially train them in 2016, and then hopefully they'll stay with you for 2017.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow. That's great. Well, you're certainly making Holliston look great, putting us on the map nationally.
Yep.
So we thank you for that.
You're welcome. And I think there were, this year, with everyone combined, there were something like 200 volunteers altogether. So it's quite amazing. The people that do little things that contribute as well makes a big difference.
Wow.
That's great.
Well, thanks again for coming. We really enjoyed it. We look forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
some great things this spring and summer.
Well, thank you so
You
much.
can count on
it's
it.
exciting.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
You got it.
Here's Steve Pesos with another segment of What's on the Menu to show us something really sweet.
Welcome to this segment of What's on the Menu. When you think about the holidays coming up, you have to be thinking candy. And candy in Holliston means 32 Central Street and the home of Candy Cottage. We're going to be going in to speak to longtime proprietor Donna Cady, who's going to tell us what's good for your sweet tooth this holiday season. So Donna, first of all, this is your new location. You've been here almost a year, and now you're in the throes of the holidays, which is probably a busy time for you.
It is.
Do you find that this location is better as far as traffic and coming through and people knowing your presence in town?
It is better. Walking traffic is better. People who drive by can see it better. We're closer to the street. People coming out of the restaurant, walking by. There's more business this side of the street, so people are walking back and forth.
Right.
Just better visibility.
And this time of year, obviously, busy?
Very busy, getting now after the slow summer, getting into Halloween. Thanksgiving is big, then, you know, the month of December.
Now, I know you have a lot of people in town who give you that make some homemade candies that you feature.
I do. Actually, the only one in town that I know of is Debbie Moore.
Debbie Moore, right.
I get her dipped apples, which are delicious, so I buy those from her to sell here. And then special orders, if I need lollipops or something for a favor for a special event, I can call her and she will help me out quite a bit.
So right now, with we're on the eve of Halloween, what are the most popular candies?
That you feature? Halloween isn't one of my bigger holidays. Halloween tends to be the Walmart, Kmart store.
Right.
So if you're looking for a special candy for a college student, a neighbor, a grandchild, then I have special things.
And you have special packages that you could put those in? Any kind
I
of
do.
theme
We
packages?
can gift bag, you know, a special theme, a gift basket box. We can also do and wrap it up.
So Donna, over the years you've probably seen people's tastes change and the way that diet and health concerns go. What do you see as far as more popular candies that sort of address those questions, probably to moms and fathers and parents in general?
Right. Now I'm seeing a lot more nuts and dark chocolate. So people will come in and look for dark chocolate covered nuts or just plain dark chocolate, as opposed to 2 years ago, people would eat milk chocolate, white chocolate, dark chocolate, and right now they're saying dark chocolate is healthier for you, so people look for more of the dark chocolate.
And you have a whole section on just the types of nut-free chocolate
The
products.
nut-free, yes. Little children from 2 years old to, you know, people our age, even people our age now are developing a nut allergy.
Right.
So yes, I have a full section of nut-free and then also dairy-free candy, and some of the nut-free is considered dairy-free, but if people have a severe dairy allergy, they can't have the nut-free, the whole cross-contamination.
See, it's guilt-free for me. I won't feel bad if you have nut or dairy or any of those kinds of chocolates. So that's why I appreciate coming in and seeing what you have here as far as on the healthy side anyway.
Right. Well, in moderation, it's all healthy.
That's true. So talk about probably one of the most popular things I remember as a kid and is a really great family thing that you can do together is candy making.
Right.
And here at the Candy Cottage, you have that kind of product.
I do
products
have.
You can sell?
I do. I have the chocolate wafers that people can melt down. I have the sticks if they're making lollipops, bags that they can bag it, you know. I don't carry any of the molds, but a lot of people just like to dip their own Oreos or pretzels, make bark.
So Donna, besides the traditional chocolates we've talked about, what are some of your specialty items?
Actually, these fortune cookies right here, it's a husband and wife team in New Hampshire. They actually take the cookie, they roll it, they insert a nice fortune in it. If you have a special occasion, a special event coming up, they'll customize the fortune for you, and they taste delicious.
Okay.
We have fudge, we have slices of fudge, assorted flavors, and then also fudge cups that are in different flavors. So we have assorted chocolates in 2-pound boxes, 1-pound, half-pound boxes, and then we have assorted turtles. The typical traditional turtle is pecan, and then we have truffles, and the truffles are made in Vermont. We sell bulk candy, usually it's in half-pound bags, and then the typical gummies for the kids, Swedish Fish, Gummy Bear, Sour Patch Kids. And we also have chocolate pizza, which is a chocolate and crumbled popcorn base with assorted popcorn and assorted toppings for the pizza, and each pizza comes in its own individual pizza box.
Can you give us your website address?
The web address is www.thecandycottage.biz.
And what are your hours of operation?
The store hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, Thursday evening till 5:30, and then through the holidays, always extended hours, so best to give a call and hear what the hours are.
So that's our segment for What's on the Menu. We want to thank Donna Katie, the proprietor of the Candy Cottage for letting us come in and see how she's preparing for the holiday season. And if you're a Holliston resident and you want to prepare for the holiday season, put Saturday, November 28th on your calendar for what's become now the traditional holiday stroll. You can bet that Candy Cottage will be one of the merchants that will be featured, and we'd love to see you out that evening. Thank you, and this is Steve for What's on the Menu.
The Candy Cottage has so many good treats in there.
Boy, I'm hungry.
I know, that segment looked good.
Yeah.
So let's hope Steve left some samples for us to try. If you haven't noticed, we've changed our appearance since you last saw us before that segment to celebrate Halloween.
Yeah, I think I've improved my looks.
You think so? Yeah, I agree. No, I'm just teasing you. So.
All right, and lastly, tonight we have a very special mystery guest. If you folks at home can figure out the identity of our mystery guest, call into the station or email us with your guess. The first 10 viewers who get it right will receive a special prize.
So let's ask this guest some questions. Do you have any ideas?
Well, I can see right off the bat he's bigger than a bread box.
All right. So we'll start with the easy ones. Mystery guest, are you a male? Okay, yes.
Are you from Holliston?
Were you born in Holliston? No, okay. So in Holliston now, but not born here.
Have you ever been in town politics?
Maybe. Well, that's very vague of you, mystery guest. Have you been in Holliston more than 20 years? Okay.
More than 30 years?
We'll just keep going. 40?
Are you a native Hollistonian?
I asked that one.
Oh, you did?
They said no. Okay, so we don't, maybe in town politics, we're not sure. Do you work in Holliston? Yes. Is it do you own your own business? Yes, all right. So it's someone that we see around town.
Yeah, could your business be a storefront?
All right. So we've narrowed it down. It's a male in Holliston that owns a business. We're not getting very far. We're not very good at this guessing. I'm glad I wasn't on any of those 70s TV game shows. Do you have children? Are they still in Holliston? No. Okay. You're next.
Boy. Let's see. What's your name?
That's not a yes or a no. Or you want to go through the alphabet?
I thought I'd trick him.
Yeah. Maybe he'd speak. Let's see. So we have our mail in Holliston storefront. Would we recognize you walking down the street? Yes. And do you take part in any town groups? Yes. All right. So I think that's enough for people to go on.
You think
so? What do you think? Yeah.
All right.
All right. So we'll wrap it up. So again, I can't figure it out who it is.
No, I certainly haven't figured it out either.
But I think our viewers are smarter than us.
Yeah, and again, if you can figure out at home, call in or email us, and the first 10 people with the correct guess will win a very lovely parting gift.
Okay. So that's a wrap for this show, and let us remind viewers that you can watch Heartbeat of Holliston every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 7 p.m. on Channel 8 Comcast and Channel 32 Verizon. The show is also televised at other times. Check the HCAT schedule. You can also watch us on any electronic device with video on demand at www.hcattv.org. Click on the video to find us. You can even stream us on your cell phones. If you don't get email blasts from HCAT TV, you can. We send out announcements when new shows are scheduled to air. Please contact us by email at office@hcattv.org or call 508-429-8979. With an email blast, you'll never miss a show you want to watch. One last note, we welcome your comments and ideas at hoh@hcattv.org. Well, good night, Paul, and happy Halloween.
Thank you. Good night, Melissa. Same to you.
And good night, Holliston.
Holliston.